Hello everyone, this is going to be another entry into my series of Paul McCartney album reviews. Today I'm going to go over this album here from 1989, Flowers in the Dirt. And I've also got a lot of other things as well. I've got the My Brave Face single, a DVD, and also the CD copy of the album as well. But we'll start by talking about the album. So yeah, released on June the 5th in 1989. It was considered a comeback album for Paul, because before this he had it kind of started like Pipes of Peace. He sort of went down in quality, and then Give My Gods to Broad Street was a commercial and critical failure, the film. And then Press to Play really didn't do much to redeem his popularity. And then he sort of did All the Best, a compilation album. But this was his first album of new music since Press to Play, and it was his best received album in years. Since Tug of War, I think it was probably his best album since then. It was also #1 album as well in the UK charts as well. It didn't do too great in America though, because it only got to just looking at the charts here now, 21 on the Billboard 200 chart, which is the American album chart. So it didn't do too great there, but it's still, I think, a very good album. Although maybe it's kind of, for me, it's average for Paul. Also, on this album as well, he worked with Elvis Costello, who I think was a very good collaborator with Paul, and they made some fantastic songs on this album here, and some also ended up on Off the Ground as well, which was about 3 years after this album. And their songs actually done together, I think are really, really strong. So yeah, so so now I'm going to show some sort of items what sort of have to do with the album. Firstly, here is the My Brave Face single here. This single here got to where did it get to in the charts? Just looking now on the internet. 18 in the UK charts, which is pretty good actually. For Paul at this time, 18. It was the I believe it was the last top 10 hit for any top 20 single for any ex-Beatle. I know George Harrison had the last #1. That's a single there. Very good song, My Brave Face. It's one of the ones he did with Elvis Costello. So side one there, on this strange parlophone label, a label I've not seen before. And on the B side, you've got the song Flying to My Home, which I think is a really underrated song. And they also had the other singles released from this album were this one, which I've not got, Put It There, and Figure of Eight. I think a live version of Figure of Eight was issued as a single. Also, what came out was this DVD as well, called Put It There, which is kind of just a sort of about an hour long, I think. I'm not too sure how long it is. It's about an hour. He sings songs from the album. So he does My Brave Face, Figure of Eight, That Day Is Done, Distractions as well. So he does a lot of songs from the album, and he also does some Beatles songs as well. Things for Today, The Long and Winding Road, Hello Goodbye, Let It Be. So there's a lot of there's a lot on it, and also songs from his rock and roll album as well. True would be CCP, the Russian album. So yeah, songs like Summertime, Lucille, Ain't That a Shame, Just Because. So and 20 Flight Rock as well. So this is pretty cool to have. Nothing much really, but it's a quite entertaining to watch. Now I'll show you the CD copy here. This is the 1993 remaster of the album here. It comes with 3 extra tracks there at the bottom. So 3 extra songs you get with it. And yeah, so here's the actual disc here. I'll show you this here. They're all kind of like laid out like this. And the problem I have with these 1993 ones is this is kind of what the cover looks like on like the front. That's what you get. You get basically a bit of like information about, tell you what's on it and that. But I just sort of rip that off, and then you can see the actual proper artwork. And this is basically just like a replica like of like what you get like in like the vinyl, just sort of scaled down, of course. So there's all the lyrics there, but you get with the vinyl anyway, which I'll show. And then go over all the tracks as well. So, little booklet there. And I don't really know why I bought this one here instead of the proper version. I think at that time I really didn't know that there was a difference. I just probably saw like the 3 like extra tracks and just thought, ooh, that one's probably better. So there's the CD. And now here's the thing what I'm sure probably most of you are interested in, the actual vinyl here. So it just comes out like this here. So you get this booklet here, which again, and then there's a picture of the band there. This is the only picture of Paul included in the album, and then all the lyrics and credits and that, like all like the same like information what you get like in the CD booklet as well. So there's that there. I'll just shove that on my bed. And then this is the inner sleeve here, just this plain yellow sleeve, bit random, but it's just there. And then the actual album here. The person who I got this from that big eBay job lot thing a few months ago. They all came with like these and with these sort of paper like inner sleeves. So there's the actual label there. If I'm honest, I don't like the artwork for the album. I think it's a bit dreary, but I do like the label though, and how like they managed to like incorporate the artwork onto the label. So I do like the label, but to me the artwork just seems a bit, and like the title "Flowers in the Dirt," it just doesn't. I don't know. It's a lyric from like one of the songs like on the album, but I just don't know. Flowers in the Dirt just seemed like a bad title for an album, you know. It doesn't seem like one like you think, oh, this could be great, this is going to be brilliant. Just like Flowers in the Dirt doesn't sound anything special. So yeah, I will now get on to going over all the songs. I'm already at 7 minutes here, and I've not even started to review the album. So I have to get a move on here. First song is My Brave Face, which I think is fantastic. So definitely probably my favourite McCartney song from the 80s, I'd say. Just think it's fantastic. It was what he wrote with Elvis Costello, and I think that his input really made that song great, because the lyrics on it are fantastic, and like I think that Elvis Costello really had a lot to do with the lyrical content like on that song. Then we get Rough Ride, which I've never used to be that keen on. It's still not my favourite one, but I can now listen to it, like, and enjoy it. Bit overstretched though, if I'm being honest, but it's pretty good. But I do like the bit where it's sort of like, it's like, what's it got again? I'm not asking for an easy passage. That sort of bit there where it all just sort of stops and then it all kicks in again. So I like that bit. That's a bit what I wait for, but it's a bit overstretched like towards the end of the song. Then you get the song You Want Her To, which is a duet with Elvis Costello. He sings on it as well, and I do really like that track actually. That is really good song. I do love that song as well. So that's good there. Then you get Distractions, which is a soft acoustic song. Really just sort of like a ballad of that. But there is when my dad first listened to this album there, because I had like the CD and I used to like listen to it in like the car a lot. And that song, that's like Distraction, like butterflies are buzzing around my head. Butterflies don't buzz, like bees are buzzing around my head, but butterflies, as far as I know, they don't buzz. So some lyrics on that song are pretty weak, but so that'd probably be probably tagged a Rough Ride as the weakest one on side one for me. It's really is hit and miss, this album. Then you get the track We Got Married, which I absolutely love. I also learned recently that it's David Gilmour playing the guitar on that track, because I think they recorded that one. Because that one dates back to the Give My God to Broad Street sessions, because I believe that David Gilmour did his guitar for that song and No More Lonely Nights at the same session. I think anyway they did it. So yeah, yes, that one like dates back quite far. Really love that song. Really progresses, goes through different stages. That starts with just acoustic guitar, then the drums come in, and then like get that wonderful guitar what David Gilmour plays on it. Maybe it's a bit like overstretched at the end, like on like the coda, which is I'm not just a love machine. If it doesn't work out that bit, that's maybe a bit like overstretched. But overall, I can have a lot of fun with that track. Then we get Put It There, which is a soft acoustic one. I believe Paul wrote it, which was a saying from his father. What he used to say, "Put it there if it weighs a ton," sort of like a handshake sort of thing. So it's quite nice in that sense. Quite got a bit of sentimental value there for Paul, and I really do enjoy that track as well. And that concludes side one. But for me, Put It There is quite a weak closer to side one. I think they could have maybe rearranged the sound slightly differently for the vinyl anyway, because on the CD it flows fine, but on the vinyl, opening up side two with something like Figure of Eight, say, for me doesn't really work. Should really like opened it up with this one, or like close side one with We Got Married, and then done something like that. But that's just a little niggle I have, like a bit like about like the order, like off like a few of the tracks. But side two, we have not put in there Figure of Eight, which is song I really enjoy. I must say I prefer the live version, which was issued as a single, and I don't think it was a big hit or anything, but it was a single anyway. I think it was the fourth single from the album, so like yeah, I don't really like expect it to do like that well, because everyone's probably like already bought the album. Yeah, Figure of Eight, really good song though. Actually, it is one of my favourites from the album, and yeah, just like love the track. Maybe this album version here maybe goes on a bit. Well, I say it goes on a bit, but the actual single version is actually longer, which is really is like quite strange for like most things, because like most like things that you'd expect the single version to be shorter rather than the album version, but with this, the single version's much longer, and I do prefer it one. But this one here, it doesn't sound as like hard rocking as like the single. So I have to get hold of like the single at like one point. But then we get the song This One, which I really love. That is probably my favourite one from the whole album, I'd say. Probably Time of My Brave Face. Fantastic song. I mean, I really am surprised that was not a big hit, because it got to number 18, I think. I think it got to the same sort of this one here. Right? I'm just on like Wikipedia now, just like look it up. So bear with me a bit. Say reached 18 on the UK singles charts, but I really am surprised that it wasn't a bigger hit than that, because it's just a fantastic song, and like that's one that I would check out, and that's one that I would recommend people check out if like they've not really heard too much of Paul's solo stuff, but they like Wings and that. That would be one of the tracks I'd say, hey, you should really listen to that. The next track though, is Don't Be Careless Love, which is not very good, if I'm being honest with you. It's one song that lets the album down for me, along with Distractions and Rough Ride, and also the last track or so, but we'll get on to that. Don't Be Careless Love, lyrics are not very good. And his voice I think is pretty weak on this song. He's singing quite high, but it really is too high. He really is straining like on that song for me. So Don't Be Careless Love is one that I would tend to skip. I wouldn't skip Rough Ride or Distractions, but this is one that I'd probably skip. And then it doesn't have the track numbers, but we have song That Day Is Done, which this is a fantastic song. I absolutely love this song. It was a I think he wrote it with Elvis Costello, and it really shows because the lyrics to it are fantastic. I think it's kind of a mostly Elvis Costello song, but Paul just sings it. But it's still fantastic and brilliant. I mean, like, what we're going to say is it's fantastic song for me anyway. Then we get How Many People, which is another good track. Maybe, I don't know. It just kind of, for me, it doesn't fit in at like this point, like in the album. I think he really maybe could have made this album like a bit short, because now it's sort of getting a bit more tedious, really, on like this track here. I mean, I don't mind the track, but it's just not as good as some of the other stuff like on the album. And then we have the final song, which is called Motor of Love, which I never used to listen to it, because I had the CD version here, and I would always, by the time I got to How Many People, I would want to skip into the bonus tracks, which I think are fantastic, which I'll go over after this one here. But Motor of Love is, it's a weak closer for me for the album. I mean, like, listen to it like on the vinyl, like all the way through, and like I could tolerate it, but it's just not one that stands out for me. So the actual album here, I would give a 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10, because I think there are some brilliant songs in here. It was his, for me, it's a good album, but average for Paul for me. So I think 8 out of 10 is a fair score for it. I will now also go over the bonus tracks to get with the CD, and you get the song Ue Le Sole, which is shit. Sorry, excuse my language, but it's rubbish song. And like even worse video clip as well. It's nothing really. Then we get Back on My Feet, which is the B-side to Once Upon a Long Ago, and I really enjoy that song. It used to be like one of my favourite McCartney ones. It still is, actually. I really think that song is really like underrated. Then you get Flying to My Home, which was the B-side of My Brave Face, and that one is again another really good track. I mean, like, if you had to maybe put like songs like Back on My Feet, Flying to My Home instead of Rough Ride or Don't Be Careless Of, then this album here would be probably a 10 out of 10 for me. I mean, like, that is probably or like at least a 9 anyway, like if we had included Back on My Feet, Flying to My Home, and this last bonus track, Loveliest Thing, which is brilliant. I mean, I don't know what was a B-side off or what was it put out there. I could be wrong, but it's just another fantastic song. Really, like one of his better ballads, I think. Because for me, yeah, that one is one of his better ballads, but it really like isn't very well known. So that is me going over the album Flowers in the Dirt here. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please like the video, subscribe and comment, and I'll see you next time. Cheerio.